Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of our Crafty Mondays for summer reading. I'm Miss Lauren, and today I'm going to be teaching everybody how to create some Japanese cherry blossom paintings, and they're super easy. So the only materials you will need a few paint brushes, you will need some paint. So the colors that I'm using are going to be mostly green, black, and pink, but probably not even green, so we'll even see. But you can use whatever colors you'd like. And if you only get paints with primary colors, of course you can mix everything together to create the colors that you want. And you need a piece of paper. What I'm going to be using is some medium weight drawing paper. And last but not least, you are going to need a pop bottle. So one that has a bottom like this. It can be any size. It can be a 2 liter. It can be smaller than this. As long as it has these little bumps on them, you will be good to go. Alright, so let's get started. So to start things off, I'm going to use my black paint, and I am going to use this to create my trunk of the tree. And just a reminder, and just a word of advice, I suggest you put any kind of paper underneath this, between your paint, your table, and your paper. But my table, I've painted on here a million times, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is, because what's one more little thing of paint? So, to start our tree branches, I'm going to use this kind of paintbrush. So it's not really too full, but you know what? It's the best we're going to be able to do right now. And I'm sorry in advance because my dog currently is hiding underneath my kitchen table because it's a little rainy tonight and he does not enjoy it. Okay, so we are going to dip our paintbrushes in here and we are going to start at the bottom of the little branch of the little tree. And so we're going to go like so. So with this, you're probably going to want to do a couple coats of black, because as you guys can see, this black really is a little bit transparent, which means that it's a little bit see-through. And I bet your guys' are going to look so much better than mine. I love to paint, but this is just a little, it's not my specialty. Okay, so we're going to make this beautiful trunk just like that. And we're going to smooth it out a little bit at the bottom. And we're going to make a little branch over here on this side. And you don't have to do anything exactly like I'm doing. If you so choose to make your tree green or red or even blue, that's totally okay. It's all up to you. That's what makes art so fun. It's all whatever you so choose. So we are going to make a couple more branches like this. And we're going to let it dry for just a minute before we get to the super fun part. So as you can see, I'm making these branches a little bit far apart. We're actually going to go all the way to the bottom, I think, like this. And we're going to keep going like that. And then we'll put a little guy out like this. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen cherry blossoms, but I think they're very pretty. They're always very pink. They're very seasonal. And they fall and every spring you can find them in some gardens and in some, community gardens and like botanical gardens. You'll be able to see some. It might be a little late for them now, but we can still look at our paintings and be impressed that way. So I'm just going over the black again to make sure that it's dark. I kind of like that it's not so dark actually, like that you can still see that it's kind of translucent or transparent, I should say, because it gives it kind of a more tree feel, wouldn't you say? So we're going to keep going like that. Okay, and a little more. Just fix that guy. And make sure this is all even. We're going to go over here. Definitely leave comments though too, guys, and say what you like about this painting, what you found hard about it, what we can do better next time, because we're always down. We're new at this. We're new at the video game, so we are taking as much advice as we can get. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry for a couple minutes before we get to our flowers. Okay, so the next part, and the most fun part, in my opinion, is going to be doing the flowers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottles, and as you can see, we have the little sticky outy bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it into my pink paint. But what you can do is you can take a paintbrush and paint it. If you don't want all the pieces, that's totally fine, but I'm just going to do it like a stamp. So I'm going to come over here by my paint and I'm going to stamp it. Do you see how it got all on there? And we're going to do this guy first. And you just stamp it. And you have a flower. Mine was a little goopy, but that's okay. Practice makes perfect. We'll do here. Ooh, perfect. Mine is a little, wonky, but that I still think it looks really pretty. So we're going to dip it again. Maybe this time we won't get it so much that it's dripping. So we'll get it a little less like this. And we'll go at the bottom and go like that. There we go. That's how they should look. Isn't that super pretty? So we're going to, excuse me, we're going to do a couple more. I'm just shaking off the excess paint over here. Okay, we're going to go here. Oh, I like that. I got a little on the table. That's fine. I always have paint on this table. Okay, and we're going to do a couple more. Okay, where are we going to go? I'm going to try to get some on all of my branches. A big shout out to my friend Lacey if she ever sees this. I know I got this idea from her. She did one of these many years ago and I thought it always turned out so pretty. Mine is definitely not as pretty as hers, but I bet you guys will all do such a fabulous job with yours. So let's see. Go like that. And then lift it. Alright, we're getting better with every one, so I have 2 spots left. And then one guy here. Like that. Perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for these to dry, and then I'm going to add a little bit of orange, I think, or maybe some blue into it. So we're going to pause here for a second, and I bet yours is going to look so much better than mine. But you know what? We're just doing our best, and that's what art's all about. Okay, so next step coming up. So where I can, I'm going to take a smaller paintbrush and I'm going to dip it into my orange and I'm going to make 3 little dots. This is totally optional. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but we're just going to make it maybe a little more than 3, just maybe a couple like that. I think that looks really neat. You can use whatever color you want, or you could just bypass this step and be done with just the little flowers. Anything that you want to do. Let's say perfect. Just to, give this a little more depth and make it look perhaps a little more original, but there's nothing wrong with it looking relatively the same too. Everything's totally fine. Okay, and we'll go a little bit over here for this guy, and then here. Perfect. And then maybe the most important part of a painting is to sign your initials in the bottom corner. So I'm going to use my very favorite color, which is this really nice, pretty dark green, and we're going to dip it in, and we're going to write an L for Miss Lauren, and a B for my last name. And now everyone will know that this is a Miss Lauren original. Alright, thank you so much everyone for watching our Crafty Monday. We will see you so very soon, and we'll see you back next week for another Crafty Monday. Have a great week.